Hey guys, it's WitchBeezy. Welcome back or welcome to my channel if this is your first time stopping by. In today's video, as you can see, I have a speed build for you guys. This is actually my first time messing around with the new apartment features that came with the For Rent pack. I've built apartments before and I'm using quotations because before this pack came out, you couldn't really build an apartment. You could just make a house that looked like an apartment and you could kind of like tweak things to kind of pretend it was an apartment. But now with the For Rent pack, we can make a real functional apartment. And I have a tendency to kind of be overly ambitious, and I know this about myself, and I was kind of intimidated to make an apartment because I really wanted to make a big one, and I kind of like was procrastinating a little bit because I knew it would take me a while. So that, I guess that's why I'm kind of just now getting around to building a apartment. I do plan on making a bigger apartment in the very near future. I'm not really sure how many units that you can have in one apartment. I'm not for sure, but I think it might be like 4 or 6, like for a single lot. But for this build, I thought I would kind of keep it small and pretty simple for my first time building an apartment because I wasn't really sure how the actual features worked. I think I've watched a couple of videos with people building apartments, but sometimes when it comes to builds, you really can't know like how it works until you actually try it for yourself, especially like with your own computer. I wasn't sure if it would like break my game or if I'd have any issues with it, but so far I haven't. And when I was doing the build, I actually realized that it would be better to kind of like before you make them into apartments, because once you like make the apartment, you can't really edit the other side until, well, what I think happened was I wanted to move a family into one of the apartments because there's 2 apartments here, and I wanted to do that because I wanted to see how much the rent would come up to. I didn't know how expensive it would be because like I said, I'm just getting around now to playing with the pack. I actually didn't buy it when it first came out. I think I bought it like couple months after it had came out, and I really haven't messed around with a whole lot of the features quite yet because it doesn't really fit into the story that I was currently playing with. I don't know if you'll notice it in this build, but I had to keep, because I moved the family into one of the units, I had to like, if I wanted to change something in one of the units, I had to kind of go back into manage worlds and go and load up the other apartment if I wanted to change things, which is, I kind of found it kind of annoying. So I think in the future I'm going to make sure that I kind of make it the apartment like a house, like how I used to do it in the past, and then once I'm done doing everything I want to do, then I will divide the house into individual units and then move people in there to make it like easier for myself. And in theme with keeping it small and simple, I just decided to build a duplex because a duplex is basically just a house that's been split into 2 individual apartments. And I also didn't like make it super elaborate. It's a very simple build, like it's just a rectangle with a roof. Most of the details are on the inside, but I feel like it kind of resembles real life a little bit, and that's typically how I enjoy playing my game. I like to make my builds and then also my gameplay like as close to real life as possible, because I don't know, I feel like it makes it more immersive when I do that, and I just enjoy playing the game that way. This apartment right here is actually inspired by my real life apartment. It's not exactly like my apartment because of course I had to like tweak some things to, because the game I'm limited in some ways, but the reason why I wanted to build my apartment is because I'm actually starting a series pretty soon on this channel. I actually recorded the first part of it yesterday, and if I have time, I'm gonna try to record another part, but it's basically going to be me living as my sim self and trying to kind of manifest my dream life through playing The Sims. So I'll be playing as my sim self, and instead of like cheating and giving myself like the house of my dreams and the apartment of my dreams like immediately, I decided to kind of just start off with where I am right now realistically and kind of build my way up from there. But if you think you'd be interested in seeing that let's play, then don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and also hit the notification button so that you will be notified when I start uploading that series. This first unit here is my unit, and it's not exactly how my unit is because of course I had to like not add some things. Like we have like closets, and we have, I think it's like, I don't know if it's a utility closet or something where the water heater is and stuff. I didn't really have room for all of that, so I kind of just had to stick with like the basics, which is, an area for washing clothes, the kitchen, a little small kitchenette area, the living room, and then there's also a bathroom and two bedrooms. And I currently live in this apartment with my mom and my son. And so technically the living room I've kind of had to make into my own bedroom space. And I feel like realistically, like I feel like this is kind of like the case for a lot of different people. And with the way that our economy currently is, like the price of living is like super ridiculous. And so I feel like with my apartment in real life, I'm very like fortunate because I don't have to pay like thousands of dollars for rent, because a lot of places are charging that right now, like, which is like so crazy. Like even for just two-bedroom apartments, it's like thousands of dollars. And I'm not gonna say how much my rent is, but I don't have to pay nearly that much. So if I have to like sleep in the living room, then I'm gonna be grateful for that, and I can like make that space my own. Like my mom, she has her bedroom and she doesn't really come out of it too often. She kind of just stays in there and watches TV and play on her tablet. And then my son, he does come out and like he'll be wherever I am. He kind of just follows me wherever I am. Realistically, like my desk is in his room and his desk is in the living room. So I do spend a lot of time in what's technically his room. But for this build, I actually put my desk in the living room because it just fit better that way. And it also made a little bit more sense for like the gameplay. And I was kind of nervous about like putting the couch right there because I didn't know if the bed would work, but the bed does work. And by the way, if you don't really like the way I furnished the apartment, then that's fine, but I am using this apartment for like a specific reason. But if you just want the actual build, then I will upload it on the gallery so you can get it for yourself and you can decorate it any way that you want. Like some of the furniture that I'm using for my unit, it kind of seems like it's a little bit mixed matched, and that's because it actually is like that in real life. A lot of the furniture that we have, it's old furniture, like we've had it for years and years. Like I think some of the furniture that we have, like for example our coffee table, it's a coffee table that my grandma had, and she's been like dead for like years. Like I think she died when I was like in the 8th grade. So yeah, a lot of our furniture is like really old, and some of it is new. Like I've brought new things since we've moved in, so that's why the furniture kind of looks like mixed match. And like when we first moved into our apartment, it was kind of weird because like I kind of had the mindset that this isn't mine, because of course it's like owned by technically it is owned by our landlord. um and it just put me in this weird space where I don't know, like I knew it was home, like it was like for example, when I get off from work, like I can't wait to get home and this is like my apartment, but it just didn't feel like ours. Like with the wall paint and like the counters and the refrigerator, like those are things that I can't really control, because those are things that we can't paint our walls because our landlord wouldn't like that. So over the years that we've been living here, I have tried to like add things to the walls and like the decor and kind of make it my own. Like especially for example, like my mom, she currently has cancer, and she kind of gets weak a little bit, or like dizzy and stuff because of her medication that she's on. So I'm the one who tends to like clean up most of the house. So I decided, since I'm like the one who cleans up the house, I'm just going to kind of decorate the whole house as I see fit. Like I don't think that a lot of the way that I don't think a lot of the things that I like are things that my mom necessarily likes, but I figured since I'm the one who cleans most of the house, that I'm gonna decorate and make the space the way that I like it and want it to be. So I have been adding things like over the years. I would like to do a little bit more, and I have been like on that side of TikTok where people are doing like renter friendly like renovations or whatever. I'm actually kind of scared to do a lot of those things, but I have been looking into it and considering doing different things to make my space feel more like home. And I think that's something that I might try to do when I'm playing the manifesting my dream life series. I'm gonna like dabble with decorating the apartment a little bit more and kind of making it more fit my aesthetic a little bit more. And I don't even know if I have like a real aesthetic, but I don't know. I think that's something that I can explore and play with in game, and then maybe it will inspire me in the real life. It was really fun to find objects in the games that kind of looked like some of the things that I actually own in real life. I did include some CC in this build. So when you do download this house off the gallery, you will have to like hit the little option on the side that says include custom content. I don't think it's necessarily important that you have the CC that I have for this build, because I feel like the things that I used that were CC, they were just like really minor things, like a few clutter items and a few plants. So I don't think you have to necessarily have them in your game. You can obviously like replace them with something else. I have been using a lot of the clutter items that came with the bathroom clutter, and then I think the everyday clutter kit. Like I would use those all the time. Like I love using clutter in my build, and of course like I can get like free CC clutter. I can get all the clutter I want by using like CC, but I have like a love-hate relationship with mods and CC. Like I do not keep up with my mod folder, and I don't really have the time to like sit there and clean it out constantly. Like I don't really like having to do that when the game decides to break and like breaks my CC and mods with it. So I don't know, like sometimes I just want to, like when I'm ready to play, like I just want to jump in the game. I don't want to like sit there and clean out my mods and CC. But lately I did go and, because I've been wanting to play with it, and like especially with this series that I'm doing, like some of the things that I like, the story I want to tell, like I'm gonna need mods to tell it. And like in order to make myself realistically, like I had to like find CC hair, and I had to find like, I tried to find like my exact glasses because I couldn't find glasses that looked like mine in the game. So yeah, recently I just went through and cleaned out my mods folder in my CC. I actually just deleted everything and started over fresh, so I actually don't have as much CC as I used to. And I don't want to like over, like, because I'm actually playing the game on a gaming laptop. I don't have like a super PC that I can like, so I do have to like be careful about not like overloading my game with too much. I think the things that make this build realistic is, like I mentioned before, I can't really control like the paint on my walls, and every wall in this apartment is white, or it's not really white, it's like a off white. So like that can be like really boring. So like one of the things that I try to do, like, because I feel like if I had a house of my own, like I don't think I would have like any walls be just white like the way that they are. So think a great way to like kind of bring your personality into the space is posters, paintings, because well, I try to paint. I used to paint all the time. So the paintings that I have up in my house or my apartment right now are things that I've painted. So I did try to keep some of the walls bare, because I do plan on, in the Dream Life series, that I do want to get back into some of my hobbies that I used to enjoy. And one of those hobbies is painting and drawing and stuff like that. So I think in the future I will, do some paintings in the game and include those in the house decor, or maybe try to sell them on Plopsy or something. I don't really know yet. And the counters that I used in this apartment, whenever I make an apartment, I found myself using these specific counters all the time. I don't know if it's because I have them in my house, but I feel like when it comes to a lot of places today, a lot of the things that the landlords use, like especially if they have to replace counters or something, they don't really use good material. Like unless you're like in a very high end apartment, you don't see really nice counters. Like I know like with, because I also have like I've been in some of the other units, because I live in a duplex, which is like a house with two apartments like I mentioned. But like our landlord, they have multiple different duplexes. I think it's like five of them, like five other ones around us. And I have been in some of the others, and it's kind of interesting because we're the only ones, I think, at least that's what my landlady said, that we're the only ones who have wood floors. Like all the other ones still have carpet, which I don't know, that's kind of interesting. But the other units that I've been in that my landlady owns, she also has like different counters, and we have these like, I don't know, I don't think they look that bad in the game, but I don't like the counters that we have. I think they're kind of ugly, and I've been thinking about getting like that contact paper that you can put on them, but I feel like that would just like make them look uglier and like more fake, because that's kind of what they look like to me. They look really fake. They're not really made out of like real wood. They're made out of like that fake crappy crumbly wood. I don't know what it's really called, but like the other apartment that I've been in, they had like granite counters. Well, I don't even think they were granite, but they looked like the counters that a lot of people used to have like in the 2000s. Like that's what they look like. I don't think I would want those counters either because they're kind of like an eyesore. So I do kind of prefer my counters a little bit because they're more neutral. But talking about those counters specifically, they kind of reminded me of something that I would love to see in The Sims 4. If they're ever looking for any ideas, I would be super interested in getting like a kit or something that's like inspired by 2000s decor. Like I don't know what that would include, but it kind of reminds me of like the Sims 2 style. Like I would love to have a pack that includes something like that. I think looking at this build now, I think like this like will be like a nightmare for some people to download because I think I used a lot of different packs with this build, and I do in the future want to do more limited pack builds, maybe even like sticking to like just one or two packs for a single build. But like for me, like I feel like there's so much of like my aesthetic spread across multiple different packs that it's really hard for me to just stick to one or two single packs. Another thing that I kind of want to do in the future is more like move in ready homes, like homes that aren't really moved in, because I like I mentioned I like to use a lot of clutter, but you don't really have a lot of clutter in those type of homes because they aren't necessarily lived in. Like with lived in homes, that's where you see like the most clutter because there's like it like shows that people live here, you know. But I feel like in the future I want to do like more move in ready homes where they're like staged, and you know they like most houses that you buy in real life, they come with the counters, the refrigerator, the stove, the bathroom, like the toilet and the shower, they kind of already come with those things. And that's one of the things, I know I mentioned that this on this channel before, that that's one of the things I really enjoyed about The Sims 2 is that it was pretty realistic when you would move into a home that you wouldn't really have furniture, but you would have counters already, you would have a fridge most likely. Well, not all the time, but sometimes you do. And then you have like your toilet and stuff already included in the house. And I wish we had like more of that in The Sims 4. Like I don't want the house to be fully furnished, I think sometimes, but I do kind of want it to like envision myself like going to different houses and looking around, and you know realtors will like stage a home to kind of show potential buyers like what you could potentially like do with the space. And I think I want to do some builds like that soon. I also want to do a lot more community lots because since I'm doing this Dream Life series, I also want to like have it be where me and my son are doing different things in the community and just like exploring and traveling and doing different activities. But now I'm getting started with the other unit here, and it was kind of not, I won't say it was challenging, but I haven't been in that unit, so I'm not really sure how the layout is. I have like peeked in because I had to, one time my neighbor, she like her trunk was open and I knocked on her door to like let her know that her trunk was open, and I was able to kind of see into the apartment, and from what I saw I think it's kind of mirrored. So I was trying to do that, and like I mentioned, I think like depending on you know how long a tenant has lived in our apartment or something. I know like when people move out, they have a maintenance person that comes and checks on things and kind of like, I don't want to say renovated, but they like fix things up for like the next set of people. And I think they, you know, decide to do things based on how much things cost or whatever. So I did try to like make the layout a little, not the layout different, but like like for example, the flooring is different. Like this unit has carpet instead of wood flooring, and then the tiling in the kitchen is a little bit different because I feel like, you know, maybe they was here first, and maybe our unit was empty for a little bit longer and they had more time to kind of fix it up a little bit nicer. I also made their little laundry space a little bit different because our washer and dryer is right next to each other, but I don't know, maybe they have a washer and dryer that stands on top of each other. But I do know like for a fact that all the apartments have a space for laundry because I've been in other units, and the ones that I've been into, they have space for laundry. So I assume that it was in the similar space as ours, but maybe they're using their space a little bit differently. And I did put like shelves in the build, and I forgot to talk about the shelves because I feel like that's one thing. Another thing that I was kind of like nervous about doing in our apartment is putting up shelves, but I feel like shelves are perfect for storage. As you can tell, the apartments aren't very big. There isn't a whole lot of space. And I have a lot of books, and I plan on collecting more books. And I feel like I need shelves to create space for my books instead of like building bookcases that take up space on the floor. And I was actually nervous about putting up shelves because I know that's something that I don't think we should do because it does lead to us having to put holes in the walls. But I figured that when I'm ready to move out, which won't be anytime soon, like I can always like patch the walls up myself. And I don't know. I don't know if the maintenance guy would be able to tell, but I feel like as if I'm gonna be living here for a few years, and I feel like a lot of people around my age who are having like a similar situation where they have to rent because housing is super expensive and no one can really afford to buy a house of their own, they've decided that since they're going to be renting a space and giving, you know, these people money for like years and years and years, they're going to at least make the space their own. So I don't care if I have to like drill a couple holes in the wall that I could always like patch up if I need to on my own, which I haven't done it before, but I'm pretty sure it's something that I can do. I'm pretty DIY friendly. I love doing like little tasks like that, like playing Bob the Builder. So yeah, like if I want to have shelves, I'm gonna have shelves, and I've been looking into like, of course, like different things that I could do to make the space feel like my own. Like I don't want to feel like I'm limited. And you know, I've even considered like sneaking in a cat because I currently cannot have a cat or any pet in my apartment. So I've been thinking about like what pet I could kind of sneak into the house. I've been thinking about getting like a lizard or um a turtle or something. I'm gonna get something, I think, because I think I'm gonna be in this apartment for a little while longer. But with this second unit, I was inspired by my neighbor. Well, she's not really my neighbor anymore because she did move out quite recently, and right now we don't have a neighbor. But I don't know, maybe I can like manifest this type of neighbor like through building this, because my neighbor, she is, well, she was a single mom. I think she eventually got a boyfriend or something because I did notice that she had like this guy coming around lately, and then they moved out together. But when we first moved into the apartment, it was like this single mom living here, and she actually had a young girl, like a child, I think that was younger than my son, and then she also had like a little baby boy. But I think with this unit, like I really wanted to make like a single mom who has two young daughters, and I want her to like kind of stay a single mom because I'm also a single mom, and I thought it would be kind of fun to like in the let's play like become friends with the single mom that's next door and kind of like do play dates and like just have like a community, like build some type of community with each other. Because being a single mom can be really hard, especially for her because I feel like she has two and I only have one. So I can definitely see myself in the Let's Play, like coming over to hang out with her and help her with, you know, the children, or if she has to go to work, I can like babysit or something like that. And I think the theme I was kind of going with this space is since it's like a single mom and her two daughters, and I don't know, I like to make up like little scenarios in my head when I'm like thinking of making spaces for my Sims. And I don't know, maybe she got out of a like a toxic situation, or this is her first time being independent and doing everything on her own. And I wanted to make this space kind of like almost like girl power themed almost. Like it, I don't think it's too girly, but I don't know, it's just something about it that I feel like this is a mom who wants her daughters to grow up and be empowered and independent, and it's just like a safe space for them to feel free and comfortable and just live. But I really had fun doing the little girl's room. That's why instead of like having her have like a young child, like a young little girl and like a little baby boy or a toddler boy, I decided to just make it two little girls because I felt like I could make it really fun. And I really love this bid like that came with the horse ranch pack. Like I didn't even know that swatch existed until I saw it when I did this build, and I feel like I'm gonna use it all the time because it looks like something that I would have had as a child. Like it reminds me of like the little pink Barbie covers that I used to have as a child, but I feel like this is like so perfect for a little girly girl. Like I don't know, I feel like we need more like themed covers like that, because I feel like you could kind of do like a whole, like if you have like a little girl who loves like horses, you could do like a whole horse themed room for her and like make it pink and girly and super cute. And I think that would be another really good theme for a pack maybe in the future, like just have like room themes. Like I don't know, like maybe you want a horse girl and her whole room theme is horses, or maybe you could like the posters that I used in this room, they're like fairy posters, like almost like Barbie fairy or something like that. And I think maybe like a pack where there's just like different themed bedrooms, like maybe another one there's like a superhero theme room for boys, or like go all out with the void critters thing. Another cool thing would maybe be like cowboys or aliens or space or something like that. And I think, I don't know, I feel like I don't know how much longer The Sims 4 is going to be around or how much longer they're going to keep making packs, but I don't know if they're ever looking for ideas. I think that would maybe be a potential idea for them. I don't know if you were able to see I don't know if left that in the bathroom for the other unit, but lately I think I've been doing pretty well with my bathrooms. Usually like they're one of the last rooms that I do because don't really like doing the bathrooms, but lately I feel like I've been putting more attention into them. And I think it might also be because of the bathroom clutter kit that came out, because there's so many different items now for the bathroom, so it kind of makes it less boring. For this bathroom I kind of did like almost like a beach theme kind of, because in my area, like I don't know why, but one of my least favorite themed bathrooms is like a beach theme. Like at my store, we have like a whole bunch of like seashell paintings, and people come in there all the time talking about they're like going to redecorate their bathroom, and they get like the blue mats and stuff for their bathroom. And I feel like we need to get more creative with our bathrooms. Like just because there's water in the bathroom, like I don't know if that's why people make their bathrooms beach themed, but I don't know. I feel like we need something out other than like beach themed bathrooms. And then like there's also like that like all black themed bathrooms. Like I mean, of course you can like what you like, but I don't know, I feel like maybe we need some, like I don't know, we need different like bathroom stuff. Like the vibe I have in my bathroom, it's more like neutral and like comforting. Like I try to make it like a spa type of thing, not in the game because I wasn't able to get like I wasn't able to find stuff that kind of fit the bathroom that I currently have. And also the bathroom that I currently have, it's like a shower and bath combo, and I really wanted to have that, even especially in this unit here where she has, most likely she's going to have a toddler and a child. I really wanted to try and get a bath fitted in the bathroom, but I didn't have the space for it. But that's fine because I'm pretty sure she can just wash up her toddler in the sink. Or if, like I mentioned, if you don't like the way that the apartments are decorated, but you still want the lot, you can of course decorate it the way that you want, and you can like have whoever you want to live here. Because I feel like this apartment would kind of fit pretty much anyone. Like you could just have like two young adults who are roommates, and they're just in this living situation because it's affordable and they can't really afford a actual house right now, but they're just kind of looking for a temporary living situation. I think with the mom's room, I don't think I'd use a whole lot of decoration in this room, and I kind of did that on purpose because I feel like this mom, she kind of like spends so much on like making sure that her kids are straight, and like she probably spoils them a lot, because I also included like on this little rack thing on the wall like little kid clothes. And the reason why there's kid clothes in here is because she probably has so many clothes for her kids that she has to like, there's no room in the kids room for their clothes, like she has to bring them in her room. But I feel like she kind of like keeps things bare because really all she does is work and take care of her kids and make sure that they have everything that they need. But I also did try to like maybe kind of include like maybe she's into books or maybe she's into fitness and stuff, because I kind of do have the idea that in the let's play that I'm doing, that maybe we'll become friends and start hanging out and like reading together. And just like I feel like the type of friends that I need, like because of the person that I'm not like super outgoing. I'm not like the type of friend who wants to go clubbing or to bars with you. Like I'm the type of friend that we can go to bookstores and the library, or maybe we can like go to the gym and just like walk on the treadmill and talk or whatever. But I think it just makes it easier to kind of put yourself in the mindset of the Sims that are going to be living in the house, and like think about what is their personality, what are their interests, what would they have in their house, because every single person is different and not everyone is going to have like the same type of style, or not everyone is going to use their home spaces the same way. And that's kind of what I like to show, or try to show in my builds, how like different people live their lives and kind of function in their home spaces. I feel that this space, or like the kind of energy that I wanted to bring into the bedroom space for the mom, was like a space of peace. Like I feel like it's a space that she comes to at the end of the day when she gets her kids fed and bathed and to bed, where she just comes in here and relaxes, and she gets to watch and put on the TV, whatever it is that she wants, because most likely the TV in the living room, the kids probably most likely kind of choose and control what's on there, and then they're also probably playing on the dollhouse that I put right next to the TV. So you can't really like enjoy what you're watching when you have a toddler and a child like kind of playing around you. So I felt like the bedroom was mostly her space. And with the living room, I kind of did use, I think it was like the TV set that came with the tiny living pack, I want to say. And I also used the bookcase from that, because like I mentioned, I feel like in real life, not a lot of people kind of, they don't really buy all of their furniture at once. But like, because I had this story in mind for this mom where, you know, this is her first time kind of moving out on her own, I feel like it's a similar situation where she probably didn't buy all of her, or she didn't acquire all of her furniture at once. But I feel like this is kind of like her own space. So I feel like I wanted to include a lot of newer looking furniture, because I feel like, you know, when she's like getting her her own space, she's probably super excited to kind of make the space her own and bring in new things instead of like bringing old things with her. Like I feel like she's kind of like taking on a new lease on life and like having a fresh start for herself and her children. But we are approaching the end of this speed build, and I hope you enjoy this build. And again, if you are interested in downloading this build, I will upload it onto the gallery, and I will put my gallery ID down below in the description. I did do some landscaping. I didn't do too much, because in my real life apartment, we don't have a whole lot of landscaping, because basically our landlord, he kind of takes care of the grass and the bushes and stuff. So I'm pretty sure they keep like the landscaping to a minimal, so they don't have as much to take care of. But at the end, I think like the outside is really nice. I really appreciate, like, I love my deck, and like that's kind of like the main reason why I wanted to get this apartment when me and my mom were looking for one, was the deck, because I like to spend a lot of time outside, and you don't see a whole lot of apartments with this much deck space. And yeah, when it's really warm and nice outside, I actually do spend a lot of time out there doing like yoga and Pilates, and just like sitting out on the chair, like reading a book or something. But yeah, again, if you made it to the very end of this video, I appreciate you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much for sticking around to the end. And if you want to see more speed builds and let's plays in the future, I mostly play The Sims 4, but I have considered branching out to other games. But if that's something that you're interested in, I invite you to subscribe if you haven't done so already. But I'm going to go ahead and head out. There will be like screenshots and stuff at the very end, so stick around for that, because I know it can be really hard to see sometimes when everything is so sped up. But yeah, I hope you liked it, and I will hopefully play it again with you guys another time.